This six-story building is not a factory or a workshop, but it is the world's largest LNG-based container ship engine. It is so big from the inside that workers can easily roam inside it. This engine drives a propeller whose height is as much as a double-story house. And obviously, when it is a container ship engine, it must have a lot of fuel in it. But how much? It drinks 1 to 2 lakh liters only at the start. Surprisingly, 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools can fit inside its fuel tank, and fuel is added to it. 2 crore liters of liquefied natural gas. Today you will learn about the construction of such a mega project which has literally shaken the limits of human engineering. Welcome again to my channel Facts and Forms. Viewers, the 21st century is going on, but 90% of international trade is still transported by sea. Whether it is a small thing like a needle or the biggest car. Assume that according to flight radar, there are 15,000 to 20,000 aircraft in the sky at all times. And if we take a look at marine traffic, then at this time when this video is being made, surprisingly, 308,000 cargo ships are traveling around the world. If we talk about the size of these cargo ships, we humans have already made the biggest ships. Bigger ships can also be made, but then they will not be able to pass through major canals like the Suez and Panama canals. Therefore, now the competition is not to make big ships, but to make the most fuel-efficient ships. And this is what the French shipping company CMA-CGM did. They wanted to make the world's largest eco-friendly ship, which will not run on fuel such as diesel or HSFO, but will run on LNG, means liquid form of natural gas. The length of this 400-meter ship is the same if 4 football fields are placed in a line. Its width is 61 meters and higher than the Qutb Minar. The total weight of this ship is equal to 7 Eiffel Towers or 11,500 African elephants, means 70,000 tons, and that too without any containers. A total of 23,112 containers can fit in this ship. Imagine their size. If these containers are placed in a line, then it will become a 150-kilometer long line. But the real challenge was not only to make this huge ship, but CMA-CGM had to make 9 such ships in less than 2 years. For this work, a shipyard in Hong Kong was chosen, which is 4 kilometers long and presents a view of a small city. 6,000 workers from all over the world work day and night, and everyone is given their own task. But the question is that where a ship is normally made in 18 months, how will 9 ships be made in 2 years? The simple answer to this is that ships will be made in pieces, which are called blocks. The foundation of the ship is made of steel sheets so that they do not get rusty. A ship needed 12,660 steel sheets. These sheets were cut with a special laser beam, whose heat was 18,000 degrees Celsius. That is 3 times more than the surface temperature of the sun. This laser beam cuts steel like a knife cuts butter. A total of 880 kilometers of steel strips were cut for a ship. Then these sheets were joined together to make a block. These blocks can be as high as a room to several-story buildings. And the wonder is that pipes, wiring, and other fittings have already been installed in these blocks. This is the last part of the ship, which is made by combining 5 blocks. It weighs 790 tons, which is equivalent to 2 train engines. 2 giant cranes were used to lift this part alone. It was placed on the pre-existing structure of the ship with a very fine beam. And remember, even a mistake of 1 millimeter can ruin many months of hard work. Once the blocks are in place, it is now time for a never-ending process of welding. Surprisingly, a ship was welded a total of 1,250 kilometers long. That is, if this welding is laid in one line, it will start from Karachi and end at Lahore. After the welding, each tank was checked with a fine beam, because the merciless waves of the sea do not forgive any weakness. So far, it was just a story of making solutions and blocks. The real wonder is in its engine. This ship will not run on traditional oils and diesel fuel. It has been designed to run on LNG, that is, liquefied natural gas. This is a big environmental victory because compared to LNG oil, it releases 99% less sulfur dioxide, 91% less air pollution, and 20% less carbon dioxide. This is a big step towards making sea travel clean. But if CMA-CGM wants to bring this revolution in the shipping industry, they will have to pay a heavy price. The biggest problem here was storing LNG in a liquid form. That is, a fuel tank in which LNG remained cool to minus 161 degrees Celsius. If it gets hot or the fuel tank insulation is not good, LNG will spread like gas, and then the game is over. This ship has to travel a long journey from Asia to Europe without refueling. For this, it is necessary to make a very large LNG fuel tank in it. But how big? Surprisingly, this is the largest LNG fuel tank in history, which has a volume of 18,000 cubic meters. It is so big from the inside that 6 Olympic swimming pools can fit in it. In total, about 2 crore liters of LNG can be filled in it. But the real challenge is not to make such a big fuel tank in the ship, but to save this fuel tank from the heat. It is like making a giant thermos as big as 6 swimming pools in the ship. The company took about 9 months to make this fuel tank. Many layers of insulating materials were applied to the walls of the tank, which saved the tank from the heat outside. Then comes the most important stage, leak testing. Because it is very important for this tank to be airtight, workers used a simple method for this. Soap water was applied to the joints, and then a glass container was placed, and all the air inside it was removed with the help of a compressor. If the joint is weak, the air outside will pass through it due to vacuum, and bubbles will be visible. In this way, the leaked joints were identified and repaired again. After the leak test, the last layer of insulation was applied to it. It is just a special membrane of 1.2 millimeters thin steel. When the cold LNG of minus 161 degrees collides with it, the steel shrinks. It allows a wavy design steel to shrink and expand without breaking. And you will be surprised to know that this technology is also used in the space station. Finally, after 8 months of hard work, this technology's masterpiece, the world's largest thermos, was ready. Now, let's come to its engine. It is the world's largest naturally aspirated engine ever built. It is 20 meters high, means as big as a 6-story building. This engine, weighing more than 2,000 tons, produces 85,000 horsepower. It is so big that maintenance staff can even roam inside it. Bringing this engine to the shipyard was also a big challenge in itself. It was transported to the shipyard in 6 separate pieces. Its most important part is its crankshaft, means a shaft that delivers the power of the engine to the propeller. This single crankshaft weighs 220 tons. A special remote control platform with 140 wheels was used to transport it, and then it was installed with millimeter accuracy. This engine has 12 pistons with a diameter of 1 meter, and this crankshaft is attached to these pistons. This engine will run the propeller on the back side of the ship. This one-piece cast propeller weighs 92 tons, and its height is up to 10 meters or 33 feet. The power of the engine will be transferred to this propeller through a propeller shaft. It is very important that this propeller shaft is completely straight, because if there is even a little twist in it, it will generate vibrations at high RPM. To check this, a special blue dye is applied to the propeller shaft and it is fitted inside the propeller. When taken out, it is found that which part of the shaft has been touched by the inner surface of the propeller. This test shows the engineering teams the place where there is no contact and where there is more pressure. And then it is changed accordingly. When the entire structure of the ship was ready, now it was time to save it from the ocean environment. That is, to paint it. The salty water of the sea, waves and friction eat steel. And due to the rough surface, fuel consumption increases. That's why a special paint was done on it. Approximately 10 lakh liters of paint has been used on a ship, and the total area was 9,50,000 square meters. In simple words, double that of the area of the Vatican City. After this, the highest and last block was installed, which is called the command bridge. This is the brain of the ship, from where the captain and the crew together control it. A system called Smart Eyes is installed all around this 400 meters long ship, which shows the captain a 360 view sitting on the bridge. Finally, after 1.5 years of tireless hard work, the first ship, Jack Sod, was ready. During 15 days of tough sea trials, each and everything was tested. The speed of the engine was tested. Emergency brakes were tested, and the navigation systems were also tested. Meanwhile, the leakages of the entire structure were also checked. And the most important thing, its anchor was also deployed and checked. The anchor of this giant beast is the anchor. Only one link of its chain weighs 300 kilograms, and the weight of the whole chain is as heavy as 60 African elephants. Finally, the 15-day sea trials were successfully passed. The purpose of the engineering team was to make low-carbon emission ships. Finally, it came true. The shipyard won the race against time, one after the other. Such 9 container ships were made in record time. This story is not about making this mountain of steel. Rather, it is the story of the intelligence of thousands of workers and the hard work day and night. These ships are now ready to rule the seas of the world, and that too in a much cleaner way than before. These megaships are proof that if a person decides to do something, then he can also move the mountains of steel in the merciless seas. I hope you'll like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.